All right, so the other video cut off. So I got to do some really cool things my second year. I got to go to Brandon Lake thing, be part of a prayer team. I got to go to this thing called Ascend, and it was awesome. My third year was really hard for me because the two pastors that I got close to that really poured into me left the school, and I was very hurt and wounded um, by their leaving because I didn't understand the circumstances. It was very much not talked about subject, and I took it really hard. Um, but what happened was it was bringing up that deep root of abandonment issues, because in my mind I still believe that, well, if people abandon me, so will God. um and so them staying in contact with me actually helped heal that wound. And so I still talk to those pastors that have impacted my life so deeply. Every now and then I check in with them because they're awesome, and they're really good at encouraging, and I trust them enough that I can say, hey, I messed up, and here's the dirt, here's what I did wrong, and here's what I've learned from it. um and then, I tried really hard to get to know all the students as much as I could through all 3 years that I was there, because I know what it's like to feel left out or to be unseen or unwanted, just from growing up that way. I knew how to hide my feelings. I knew how to see sadness and depression just by looking at someone's eyes, because I knew how to hide behind a smile myself. And I don't know, I just had this. I always knew when someone was hurting, and I always did my best to encourage people. And I didn't realize that that was what being prophetic was being an encourager and showing people the love of Jesus. And I've always had that gift, and I didn't know it until I was at the school where they taught us what it means to prophesy and to encourage and to love one another well. That is not about, God told me this, or God told me to say this, or God said this. They can be taken so wrong and so sideways, and you could always be wrong. But like they taught us, like, I really feel like the Lord is speaking this, or I really feel like, this might be going on, and it's okay to miss it at that point because you're not going what the Lord said. It's just weird for me. But I can say that I've had conversations with God for myself, and God has told me personally things about myself, but He's never told me things about other people that I can go, well, God said this. No, but He'll give me an impression and be like, I really feel like God's trying to say that He loves you and that you've been going through something, and that, people may accuse you wrongly of things, but He knows the truth and He's got your back in the situation, and He just wants you to trust Him. Like, these are things that He's spoken to me about me, and sometimes it's for other people too. I just want to share this real quick. This is something that is one of the conversations I've had with Him, where He's just spoken to me in my writing when I write. Sometimes He does it with music, but I really feel like this is beneficial, not just for me, but for somebody else. When you are weak, my strength is found. When you are hopeless, my mercy shine new. All I desire is you, child. I love you on your good days and on your bad days. I'm not looking for perfection. I'm not looking for perfection. I am looking for your heart yielded to mine. Surrender isn't just an act of worship, but a yielding to me. When you are hurting, it is then that my healing love can move. When you feel alone, that is when I am closest. I hear every prayer and I always reply. You just can't hear me sometimes. Nothing, and I mean nothing, can separate you from my love. Nothing can snatch you from my hand. You burn like a lighthouse, warning and guiding ships home. Rivers of life, giving words and actions flow through you even on your worst days. You are my champion. Like David, you keep pushing toward me even when all seems against you. I love your worship, but I love your heart after me more. That longing you feel, it is your spirit longing for my presence. Be not afraid, child, for I am with you. Be still. Be still and know that I am God, and I am your Father. When you feel unseen and invisible, it is then that I shine on you most, child. It is time to know me as Father and friend. You have lived in fear for far too long. I desire all of you. Will you give your life to me? I'm about to use you in ways you could only imagine. Don't give up. We are just getting started. I am proud of you, my child. You have come so far. Keep it up. Be strong and courageous. I love you. Before LCU, my image of God was this angry judge, angry father figure that was ready to beat me, whoop me, scold me, and turn his back on me, because that's what I grew up with. That's what I was taught for a long time. Now my image of God is a father teaching his kid how to ride a bike. And even though I crash and fall, he's there to lift me up, brush me off, tend to my wounds, and encourage me to try again, because he's a proud father who loves me and wants to see me succeed. That's the image of the father for me now. And I wouldn't have that image of God as my father if it wasn't for this school. So it's night and day from being fearful and terrified of God, still wanting to know who he is, to knowing who he is and knowing that he knows me because he created me before I ever was. Like, he knew me before I even existed, before I ever took a breath. He knew when I would say yes. He knew every step I would take. He knew every mess I would fall in, and he loved me anyway. And he chose me anyway. My worst day, my best day, it didn't matter. And he's not asking for perfect. He's asking for willing and surrendered, available. And it's okay to miss it. It's okay to mess up. We're going to miss it at some point. But the difference is, I don't fall into guilt, shame, and condemnation when I mess up anymore, because I know my God loves me enough to go, hey, you missed it. But here's how we can work on it. Here's how we can correct this. And he'll walk me through the process, and he won't sit there and judge me and condemn me. And when he's forgiven something, he's forgotten it, and he doesn't bring it back up. He's not the enemy. The enemy is the one that has come to steal your joy, kill your joy, kill you, But God just wants your love. He just wants your attention, your affection. He wants you to be available and willing to know him and trust him in all things. And that's who he is. That's his character. He's not looking for a perfect robot. He's looking for someone who just wants to know him and is willing to trust him even when it is so scary. So I just wanted to share what LCU has taught me and how much I've grown and how great it is that I got to be there, how blessed I was by the school. And I just want to encourage you, if you go to LCU, go for God, not for man, because man will let you down, man will fall at some point, because man is not perfect, but God is perfect, and God won't let you down, and he won't hurt you. So if you're going to go for God, and God only. Go to know him and him alone, and you'll see transformation in your life just like I have.